Good morning, everybody. It is Thursday, May 27th. The sun's peeking through the trees. Pretty decent day today, other than it's a little chilly. Tomorrow, the high's only supposed to be 57 here in West Michigan. But this is a little review on an RK37 tractor and what we've done to it and the attachments we have right now for it. We bought this, I think, June of last year, June or July, from Rural King. It was the equivalent to a friend of ours. He has a TYM version of this tractor, and Rural King had the same tractor, just different badging. It's the same basically as a Mahindra, without the cost of a Mahindra name. Really like it. Value wise, you can't beat them. They're built super tough. I would use another name, but they're built really tough. Now, when we ordered this tractor from Rural King, of course, we went with the shuttle shift because I personally don't like the hydrostatic drive. To me, it robs too much power away from the motor and the hydraulic system. But that's personal preference. I still like the shift, I guess. But when we ordered it, we did get the forks with it. And we got the granite grapple from Rural King. So I'm going to come over here a minute. And this attachment, if you do anything where you're going to deal with big rocks, logs, you're clearing your property, buy one of these things and you'll love it. Now, if you'll notice, this is more of a root grapple. It doesn't have the long tines that stick out here and then the sweeping arms, because we want to be able to grab a log, and it works really good for that. The brush grapples do good if you're going to just deal with brush, but we wanted something more universal. Yes, it doesn't carry as much brush at one time as a brush grapple would, but for all around use, I would recommend this grapple from RK or Rural King any day. Granite grapples are awesome. Plenty of power. We haven't bent anything on it, and we tend to use our stuff. So that is one of the attachments. And of course, the forks. The tractor has 258 hours or 268 hours. But then this is a box scraper that we brought over from my father's house. He's always had John Deere's, so it's green. And comparing it to John Deere's, John Deere isn't superior on the tractor itself by any means. They're actually, like their front axle, I don't believe is built as heavy duty as the RK37 tractor. But that's, ours, that's why we didn't go buy a John Deere, is I wanted something a little beefier. This tractor weighs more than a John Deere of its equal class. It picks up more. This one here will pick up 2,200 pounds, and we've pushed it beyond that. But so we have a box scraper. Over there is a 6-foot brush hog. It actually came from Tractor Supply. We really like it. Didn't get it from Rural King just because of where we live. The nearest Rural King is over an hour drive, hour and a half drive from us, which in a lot of ways sucks because I really like Rural King. It's like walking into Walmart for tractor stuff or your stuff around the farm, home, garden. It's massive. So that is a Country Line, and it came from Tractor Supply. Really happy with it. You got to remember, you have to put the 80/90 weight in the gearbox of it. And then over here we have a York rake. This is the adapter plate. In a previous video we had to modify. I really like it because I can put rear attachments on the front of the tractor. I've had the heavy box scraper on the front. It works good too. But between the two, I'll put this on the front, the box scraper on the back, and I can really make the lawn or where I've tore it up with the excavator, it cleans up really good with it. So that's what we have for that attachment. This is a back T-bar that we bought. It's a little light duty. You can see I've already bent it. And how I bent it, I think it's because of the weights that we put onto it. So we added this bar across the back of it. You can see where we welded it on. Because even though the RK tractor is or has loaded rear tires, when you max out its lifting capability, it gets light in the rear end. Lighter than I care to even think about having it. So we actually hang 800 more pounds off the back of the tractor via this T-bar, and I could probably put another 400 pounds on it. But now this is the bucket that came with the RK tractor. The only modification we've done to it is we welded a hook for a chain on it. This is our rock bucket. I don't remember who makes it, but super stout. It's heavy, but for going after rocks and sandier soil, it works great. Negative to it is just if your ground's got a lot of clay into it, or it's got a lot of grass and weed, topsoil aspect of it, where it's clumpy, it tends to clump up like you see. But since this property has a lot of rocks, is why we purchased it, and we really like it. And over there is Case International, or International 100-pound weights. That's what we hang on the back of this tractor. Now the one attachment is actually behind the door. Is we have a little slip-on attachment that goes on this fork, and it has a receiver to move trailers around. And then it has a chain that comes up, hooks in right here, and then has a chain binder, and that's how we move most of these little boats around with it. Just makes it easy to move them around. But back to the tractor. Trying to keep it so I keep most of the tractor in the view. The pluses to the tractor, it runs good, starts up good, doesn't use any oil, la-di-da-di-da. Very versatile, turns quite sharp. It's got plenty of power for us. We didn't go up to the 45 horse, I believe it is, or 47 horse. And it's via just the size of it. It gets, it's a quarter of the size bigger. And for maneuvering around in the woods and trying to get into tight places, it's just too big of a tractor. So we went to the 37 horse, great versatility for working around a small, small property, 5+ acres to, on up. This property right now is 10 acres. It's going to be going to 35 acres when we purchase the property next to us. But for lifting capabilities, you can't beat it. Like I said, we've picked up 2,000 pound skids of pellets and other things. So we know it'll pick up to, or 1 ton without really working it. You don't feel like you're on a Tinker toy like on a New Holland. It just, when you sit on it, you feel like you're on a tractor. The maneuverability, like I said, is good. Shifting it is good. Once in a while, I'll grind a gear going from forward to reverse, and it's just because I didn't pull back hard enough on the shuttle shift. The controls, I really like their placement and all that. So, in that aspect, great universal tractor. So now I'm going to go with what we have changed on this tractor, because I've got to give you, I can talk about the fuel efficiency is good. Doesn't use any oil yet, thank goodness. Doesn't go into regen as much as I thought it would. Stuff like that. But now, as soon as we bought it, because a friend of ours has a TYM version of this tractor, we knew what we were getting into on its weak links. And I really mean links. So, first thing we done, as soon as we got it back here to Michigan, because it was bought in Xenia, Ohio at Rural King, is we reinforced these dog bones. You can see how heavy duty we reinforced them. So it's on both sides. There's the other side. So the inside and outside of these dog bones we reinforced, due to the fact our friend of mine who has the TYM version with the same loader, he had it about a week and was stressing, I'll say overloading the loader arms, and bent these, literally wishboned them out. And he had to purchase new ones, and then we suggested we reinforce them, and we done exactly the same thing to his, and his was the first one we done it to. So when we got ours, we reinforced it, and this is, I believe it was 1 inch by 1/2 inch plate, and we put it in our press, bent it, and then welded it all up. And it's to keep these from bending outward, because when you rock this back, if they get weak, they'll bow out on both sides. So that was before it even come off. It came off the tractor, went right to the shop and got modified. The other thing we done is we covered up the front of this tractor with expanded metal, because again, we play in brush. So we wanted to protect the nose of it. And if you can see, I guess if I get down this way, you can see how it's been bent. It doesn't stop the really little sticks, but I haven't really got into those. Most of the time it's like a 1 inch stick will come through and try to get through there, and it stops it, and that was what its purpose was. So that was one of the big changes also. And when we first got it, I installed instead of having Rural King done it for timeline purposes. We put the third control on it. Very easy to do. Follow their instructions. You don't need all the pieces and parts that come in the kit, but you'll need quite a few of them. Very nice to have. We run the grapple, but like I said, it's well worth the money to have that. Now, one of the things that RK doesn't offer that TYM did a couple years ago was the mirrors. They have this location here, which a friend of ours on his TYM had the same thing, and he got the mirror assembly for it. Well, we had to make ours, which wasn't a big deal. It's just 1/2-inch round stock. We threaded it, put it in the hole, and bent it up. Now, these are huge mirrors. The wife ordered them, didn't think they were going to be this big. Well, they're for like a semi. It looks like it has bunny ears, but it makes great view. They're a concave mirror, so you can see a lot behind you. I really like them because I don't have to turn around in the seat very much. Now, one of the dislikes I have with this tractor, so here's one of the dislikes. The seat is very comfortable, easy to adjust. I'm a 275-pound man. I can adjust it up so I'm not bottoming out. It still has spring. But the negative is it doesn't rock forward. So if you wanted to slide that seat up, if it was raining or whatever, to keep the sun off of it, you cannot do it. That was one of the negatives to it. So, like I said, there's not a whole lot of negatives that we've done. All the controls, like I said, are at push button. The PTO, all that is right handy. So here's the PTO. Here is the 4-wheel drive. Then your other controls over on that side. But good location. The one thing I do like about it, and this holds down the clutch so you can start it without being on it. I'll engage it so I can start it and warm up the tractor. One of the other modifications we done to it is we took 6 inches out of the roll cage of this thing. And you can go, oh no, you changed its safety or whatever. Well, we couldn't put it in a bunch of our doors. It's still over 7 foot, so we cannot run it in that garage. So we on our friend's tractor, we done the same thing, but we took 6 inches out of the roll cage so it doesn't sit way the heck over your head. It's not a hard process, just a little time consuming because you need to cut the welds and then drop everything and then weld it back together. So we still have the cage there. In my opinion, I've worked with metal for years and years. We did not hurt the ability to protect you or protect us if there was an incident. But that's one of the things we did change on it. Let's see here. Be careful of these rear light assemblies. If you lean on them, you will break them. They're not that expensive, but yeah. The hookups in the back, great. They do their job. We didn't go to a quick attach. I guess since this has that slip joint assembly, it doesn't really take me much longer to unhook them and rehook them. Maybe if I even get a little older, maybe I'll change them out. All the lights, are adequate. We mounted a bigger light up here because come winter it's like 5 o'clock and it's dark. But overall, I'll say it's a great tractor. It's well worth the money. The attachments are, more of the necessity. Forks usually are on this thing most of the time, but between the forks, the bucket, the brush hog, and just depends on what you're using it for. But great overall tractor, well worth the money. I'd recommend it. We do not baby our tractors. We cut about 20 cord of wood a year, and we use these tractors to move them around, grab the logs and move them and do everything. I mean, if you look in the distance, there is quite a good size log pile back there that we've got to get splitting for this coming winter. But like I said, if you're in the market for a tractor, check out Rural King. Look at their RK series. I don't think I'd go any smaller than a 37 horsepower tractor. A couple other things, I guess, is depending on what your environment is, the cab is nice for air conditioning and that, but if you're going to be doing any work out in the woods like that, you will not like it because you'll break the glass in it and it defeats the whole purpose of the cab. You can get the visor to go over the top of it. Again, that's personal preference. I have a straw hat that I wear when I'm brush hogging, so it wasn't a necessity. But again, I out of a scale of 1 to 10, I'd give it a 9. We've had a few little things. Once in a while, the throttle will stick, and you just hit the foot throttle, and it comes back, and that's more or less just lubrication, and it gets a little dusty, and just got to spray it again, and it's fine. I don't know what else to say about it, to be honest with you, other than it's been a really good tractor. Well, from West Michigan to all of you, peace out.